as we talked about earlier, unlike West Coast VC, unlike some of the top founders that are AI first in native in Bangalore, across the global south, there are many very good companies being built that either have not yet needed to or have not yet completed their journey of embracing AI. And I think that will continue to be the case for some time. And that's part of why we have our in-house AI innovation team with a team of 7 people, a manager, program manager, and developers who can go and help accelerate the journey of those founders. Yeah. So I'll start by one of them. That's a company called GoFlux in Brazil. And they have a platform for helping grain producers, right, growers, who need to move literally tens, hundreds of tons of grains to the point of shipping, right, out to typically on a ship somewhere if it's going to be exported, or to a production facility within the country of Brazil. And that often happens all in the same small number of weeks, right, for a given thing that comes ripe, becomes ready to be harvested. And so that's a massive complex problem of organizing the trucks that they need, because most of these things, 70% go by truck. And GoFlux has built a platform that helps deal with the logistics of shipping large quantities of agricultural product from point A to point B at the right time. Yeah. And it's easy to say that. It turns out there's a lot of complexity underneath that in terms of figuring out rates and routes, who are the right providers, who's available now. And they have a very complex report, 7,500 pages, that comes out on a regular basis that their customers need to consume. And consuming that thing is a lot of work. What they'd like to be able to do is just ask questions of that report. And so we help them use a chatbot with a RAG architecture to be grounded on those reports, to be grounded on some of the numerical tables that are inside of it that it can access through SQL, so it can actually be good with numbers. Yeah. And that's actually providing their customers the more efficient way to get access to this critical business information, so they can use the GoFlux platform better to more quickly solve their logistical needs of moving tons of grain from point A to point B. So that's one example in Latin America where our AI innovation team helped to speed the journey of building an AI enablement add-on to the SaaS platform of GoFlux.
Yeah, I'll add an example for India as well. So one of our portfolio companies, New Street Tech, it's in the microfinance distribution space. And one of the key problems that they face is that they have collection agents on the ground. Now, what we have observed in the past, first of all, this is again can be classified as a frontline workforce. The retention rates or the attrition rates are very high in that industry, and but the kind of collection that a collection agent which is 5 years into the industry is able to get is maybe 3 or 4x of that of a person who has newly joined, because there is learning curve, and you get to know so many people, you understand what is the right psyche, how to push for collection, this and that. And we were wondering how we can actually take the help of AI to actually come in and train this, or maybe act as a co-pilot for these collection agents to go out and collect and nudge the microfinance borrower in the best possible way to actually collect money on time. And so our AI innovation team came up and they built a prototype for a co-pilot for collection agents. So what that meant was that they had all these SOP documents across the organization, which was used as in a RAG framework to train that model. On top of that, the voice conversations of collection agents who have been there in the industry for the past 4 or 5 years, some knowledge was collected from that as well. And now whenever a newish collection agent used to go to collect money from these rural women, he had a co-pilot along with him on the tab, which is telling that, okay, if the response from the borrower is that, okay, the man of the house is not here, then what is the best response that you can give so that your chances of collecting that money comes higher. And there was significant impact in terms of the metrics that they were able to achieve because of this co-pilot, and that was one of the fantastic things that our AI innovation team helped our portfolio company with.
That's great. You mentioned collection. We now will shift over to Africa. Yeah. We have an investment in a company called BeFree, and BeFree provides ethical consumer debt collection. Yeah. And by ethical, that means that the that the collection agents do not use foul language, they do not berate people, they follow very strict SOPs, and they make, out of a call center, literally thousands of calls per day. And they had a team of people that were trying to do sampling of those calls, monitor them, and make sure that the agents were in fact applying the principles that were required. And if any of them were going off script, if they were doing things they shouldn't be doing, pulling them aside, retraining them, and making sure that they are delivering to the SOPs of the Be Free program. And that was all being done entirely by hand. Right, effectively, right? So they had all these recordings, they had to listen to them, and they'd go back and do the intervention. Well, now they're able to feed those recordings to not only a speech to text, but also sentiment analysis. And then they can identify, for the same people that were the overseers of the collection agents, now they can actually go from 10-20% coverage to 100% coverage. They can spend more time actually providing remedial coaching to the collection agents and less time listening and trying to figure out if it's an issue, because AI can do that. In this case, our AI innovation team, we didn't actually build the prototype for them, but we worked with the firm, with their very capable CTO and his team, to understand where their challenges were, help them think about the architecture, look at some of the specific problems that they had, go and find some state-of-the-art solutions to those as they went to put this whole solution into place. And they've actually created a really quite a robust solution at this point that has increased the quality, delivered basically more business results, and ultimately that's what matters if you're talking about applying AI. Are the business results there? And Be Free is definitely saying that. In each of these examples, one of the reasons why we make this substantial investment in our AI innovation team is that we're able to unlock value in the portfolio company. Maybe they would have figured it out sooner or later. They probably would have. But if we can unlock that value more quickly, that means they're going to drive revenues up, drive costs down, drive quality up, and they just simply are a more valuable company. And that's our job, is to create valuable companies, and our AI innovation team can do that.